Press and hold the center power button to power on the bike. Hold down the plus and minus buttons simultaneously to reach the settings menu. Scroll down and press the center button to select the battery lock page, and then press it once again to unlock and eject the battery. Place your hand below the battery to support it. Once the top end of the battery is disengaged, press the handle to release the battery and lift it out of the bike. Unwind the wire loom from the left side cables and unplug the throttle assembly from the throttle harness. Use a 4mm hex wrench to loosen and remove the headlight pivot bolt and remove the headlight from the bracket. Lift the cables out from the headlight bracket and then remove the stem cable cover using a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the retaining bolt. With the bike inverted, use a 4mm hex wrench to loosen both of the stem clamping bolts. Remove the stem rubber grommet and then use a 5mm hex wrench to loosen the stem preload bolt until the stem can be released. Remove the stem. Follow up by removing the headset dust cover, compression ring, and the upper headset bearing. Lift the fork and front wheel up and out of the frame. Use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the two bolts that mount the battery lock assembly to the frame. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the three bolts that attach the cable cover plate within the battery compartment. Remove the cover plate. Use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the two bolts that mount the terminal assembly to the frame. Then use a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the two controller cover bolts. Lift up the controller cover plate to access the connections. Disconnect the second plug connection and remove the throttle harness from the bike. Swap the throttle harness. Reconnect the throttle harness to the controller by aligning the arrow and firmly pressing the plug into the controller port. Reposition the controller and cover into place on the bike and reinstall the two mounting bolts using a 2.5mm hex wrench. Feed the throttle harness through the battery compartment and out of the head tube. Reinstall the fork into the head tube, ensuring the lower headset bearing is still in place. Guide the upper headset bearing over all of the cables coming from the head tube and press the bearing into place with the chamfered side touching the frame. Note, assembly grease added to the head tube can help retain the bearing during this step. Replace the compression ring with the opening containing the cables toward the front of the bike, and then install the dust cover flush against the head tube while keeping the cables oriented forward. Guide the stem back onto the steer tube and use a 5mm hex wrench to thread on the stem compression bolt. Continue to tighten the bolt until the stem is fully seated. Ensure the headset is properly preloaded while ensuring there is still good movement in the steering. Reconnect the throttle harness to the throttle assembly by aligning the arrows and firmly pressing the connection together. Reinstall the stem cable cover and mounting bolt using a 2.5mm hex wrench. With the cables routed into the headlight bracket as shown, reinstall the headlight and headlight pivot bolt using a 4mm hex wrench. Feed any cables back into the cable cover. Guide the terminal back into the frame and reinstall the mounting bolts using a 3mm hex wrench. Organize the cables, align the cable cover plate to the mounting holes in the battery compartment, and reinstall the 3 mounting bolts using a 2.5mm hex wrench. Position the battery lock assembly in place and reinstall the 2 mounting bolts using a 3mm hex wrench. With the bike upright, replace the wire loom on the left side cables. Align the handlebars with the front wheel. Snug the headset preload bolt and replace the rubber grommet, and then use a 4mm hex wrench to tighten the stem clamping bolts and alternate between the two while torquing them to 8 to 10 Newton meters. Reinstall the battery by inserting the bottom first and pressing the top to lock it in place. Press and hold the center power button to power on the bike. Press the plus button once, and with the rear wheel off the ground, test the throttle for proper function.